I'm Balamurugan. I'm heading the architecture for digital channel and data analytics for Standard Chartered Bank. So I'm covering various spectrum of end-to-end domain for corporate and commercial and institutional banking. I think the challenge today is how do we transform ourselves from a traditional monolithic architecture to a more modern data mesh or fabric architecture, mainly to provide a self-driven data platform or self-service data platform, so that we can fully utilize the benefit of the data, because today data is gold. But the challenge is how do we support our business and the data professionals to explore and play with the data so that they can create a lot of interesting use cases, and then they can leverage the data to enable the data-driven decision. I think that's a fundamental challenge for us. For a big enterprise like us, how do we transform is a biggest challenge. Absolutely. I think the audience quite very good in terms of understanding the data mesh. I think maybe they are not familiar on the data fabric and all the various approaches. I think this should be giving some kind of insights. Data mesh is, I think there is a misunderstanding also. Data mesh means it's completely decentralized and it's like fully ungoverned kind of a thing. But I think you can still do the data mesh, but you can still do the central governance to ensure that you are giving that kind of data ownership federated and data delivery federated, but you can have a central data platform. I think that's the whole objective. I think the audience will receive that because I got some feedback from somebody. I think Singapore is already way ahead in this. So the fundamental challenges with the generative AI is coming into picture. I think that is the area that we need to look at it. How do we effectively utilize generative AI so that we are able to because there are a lot of threats, right? So there are positives and there are negatives. How do we as a bank like us, how do we ensure that we build a model or we build a kind of intelligence so that we can also block certain threats which are coming through this generative AI. So that's a challenge. I think the big data platform perspective, Singapore is a mature market. But the modern data architecture is where the Singapore is evolving. Absolutely. I think, as I mentioned during my talk, one of the biggest challenge for enterprise like us is how do we support the hybrid strategy? I think most of the startups, most of the companies who are coming up with the creative solutions, they are only focusing on SaaS model or they are focusing on their own deployment model. I think that is where a bit of challenge. Maybe it is well suited for startups who can quickly onboard and then they can leverage the technology and they can move forward. But a big enterprise like us, I think it requires both on-prem and cloud. So that how do we achieve the hybrid strategy? I think that's one of the biggest challenge all the technology providers or the solution providers for this big data platform, they should think about it. Absolutely, I think it was very interesting. The main thing I was very happy is I was able to meet some of the vendors, and I was able to understand some of the newer things that they are trying to do. For example, single store is one of the interesting things. We need to see how we are going to deep dive into their technology to understand how it is like providing a value So that was one of the thing, and then the panelist discussion yesterday. So that was also interesting conversation. And I was looking forward to more of generative AI. I think this time it was not that much, except we have a couple of topics. I think the upcoming thing I'm looking forward, that kind of a thing. How do we bring that perspective? I think that's one of the new area. Even all the enterprises are struggling. How do we move forward on that?
And thank you so much once again. We look forward to you seeing the next stage.
Absolutely. Nice. Thanks a lot for this opportunity.